inside my backpack. Call it nature's beauty, there's no turning back. Through the mountains and valleys I feel so free, exploring the world where I'm meant to be. Among the trees and the streams I find my peace. I'm not lost, I'm exploring, feeling alive with the wind in my hair and the sun in my eyes. I'm not lost, I'm exploring in nature's embrace, connected to the earth in this magical place.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to I'm Not Lost, I'm Exploring. And today we're going to check out the Mock Chunk Lake trails, and I have a little something special for you guys that we're going to do a little bit of explore of. Is an 1800s farmstead, so stick around, let's check out this trail. Alright, so you guys may think some of this looks familiar if you've seen the Switchback trail. We actually hiked that entire length already, but we aren't doing the Switchback trail today. So Switchback tells us to go right. We're going to go to the left, and we're going to follow what I believe is called Orchard Trail. This line right up here. Yep, Orchard Trail. And this should be a pretty easy hike. Looks like it's mostly an old wagon road that runs down here. We're actually going down to explore a farm, or to video a farm, document a farm that Twisted Adventures shared a little while back, and I'll put a link down below to their channel. I get a lot of good information from them. Ryan has never steered me wrong. In fact, he's helped me out with quite a few videos identifying a few things, so thank you, Ryan. I greatly appreciate that. Couple guys on bikes riding through. It's a beautiful day out. It is very hot. I believe the temps are around the 90s, but we're in a heat warning, and the heat index is something like 100, 104. So it's going to be a nice easy walk today, a nice easy hike, a little bit of an exploration. Maybe we'll jump into that lake. We'll have to see. Trying to stay to the right of the trail. The opposite side of the trail is full sun, and like I said, it is very hot today. It is very humid, and we are very close to the highway, if you guys can hear that or not. Again, we are at Mock Chunk Lake. It's a county-owned park, and it's amazing. It's a beautiful area, absolutely stunning lake. The view from the dam is incredible. I'll try to get you guys a video of that before I get off on this video today, or on the end of the video. Make sure you guys stick around for some pictures, or check out my Instagram page. I post a lot of pictures there as well, or I try to when I remember, to be honest. So Lynch Trail is right there, and if you can see, there's a sign up there. I may walk back up the highway just to get some of that, a view of that sign, but I believe it mentions the Garing farm. And there's a trail that comes down into here. Alright, so we are on the grounds of the Garing farm. It's a historic farm from the 1800s. Actually, I think I mentioned it. Actually, I know I mentioned it, or at least their family, on a video while me and Simply Expo Venturing were hiking the Switchback Trail. The Indian Steps, as we know them, and as many have called them, were actually built by this family or this family's relation, the Garing brothers. They were mine workers and they worked in the mines in Nesquehoning. So they built those steps so they wouldn't have to go around that mountain every single day on the way to work. It's kind of incredible to think that, you know, they climb them steps every day. So let's take a look at the farm and try to imagine what life was like back in the 1800s while we explore. Hey, come on, I gotta go. Oh, just a glimpse inside. Sorry, sometimes I just can't help myself but to be goofy. So this is a pretty cool little place here. I know the county took it over a few years ago, although I think it was supposed to be taken over way back when. I'm hoping they do something with it, because otherwise it would really be a shame, you know, to have this sitting here. And the history behind this place is pretty cool. I'll give you guys a little more of a rundown of that as a voiceover, but let's continue exploring and see what we can see. I don't see too many no trespassing signs. There are a few on some of the buildings. The outhouse doesn't have one on, obviously. Building I'm looking at now, I'm walking around to see if it's posted in any way. I don't know if you're allowed to go in these or not. I would imagine probably not, but you can see how they burn this to protect it. They burn that to actually protect the wood from insects and stuff, so it's pretty neat. Although this could just be age, but I don't think so. So let's continue on. Yeah, as you guys can see, the little window here is actually screwed shut. I don't know if you can see anything in there or not, probably not. Just want to show these are square nails, so that just shows you the age. If you can see that or not, I hope the camera's picking it up. They're square nails. These buildings were built when a 2x4 was actually 2 inches by 4 inches. And those square nails, it's amazing that they've lasted as long as they have. I know my father's in the process of ripping down an old house. It was actually a coal mine house became very dilapidated over the last 10 years or so, and it needed to be knocked down. And finding those square nails all over the place, it's pretty cool. So that's the building we were just looking at a few seconds ago, and now we're going to turn to our right. You see there's a building down there we still have to check out, and we're going to check out this building right here. Obviously we're not going in it, but we may be able to sneak the camera in there a little bit. There's a hole in the door. Guys seen anything there? Probably ain't much. So my understanding is There was a blacksmith shop down here at one point. This was actually a right-of-way for the Switchback way back when. And when the gentleman who finally was living on this property was told he had to vacate, he sold off all the old farming implements and the antiques. It's really kind of a shame, because this is like giving you a glimpse into the past, what it was like in the 1800s to farm. And it's pretty, I don't want to say it's perfect, there's a lot of work that needs to be done down here, but it looks like for the most part it would be usable as a educational display or there's all these little outbuildings down here. Another one. Door is open. No, there's no door, but you guys get the idea. It's kind of neat. You can just peek in here. You don't have to go in. So there's the barn. Another outbuilding here and here. And then there's this structure to my right. Let's check that out. There's no doors on here. So we just kind of peek in. Old bottle in there. So it's my understanding that there were several buildings, other buildings here. I'm not sure what the buildings were we were actually looking at today. However, that they did have a blacksmith shop, obviously the barn, which we did see, and several other buildings at one time. In fact, at one point they ran a bootleg mine somewhere on between Jim Thorpe and Escohoning, and they would actually screen it down here on this property somewhere. So I'm on what looks like it may be an old road, but we're probably going to go back because I want to give you guys a little more of a feel for this place. It's very cool. Definitely has potential to be something other than just ruins. So hoping that one day maybe it'll be equivalent to Quiet Valley, which is actually a living historical farm. Oop, almost fell there. Oh, there's just another field here and another building over here. So there are several buildings on this property. Let me turn you guys around and we can check this one out too. Alright, so it's the next building. Doesn't look like many people come back this far. Just like all the other ones, it is closed. Let's get a peek inside through one of these windows. So it's pretty neat to see this, but you guys can tell they used whatever they could. They didn't waste nothing down here. That's obvious. Old doors, old windows made into windows for these little outhouses, whether it be a chicken coop or any other buildings that they would use out here. The best I can to find more history on this farm, but I do know it is owned by the county and the county takes care of it. It's pretty neat to explore back here and still get a glimpse into what life was like in the 1800s. And like I said, it definitely has potential. There's a block wall back here and it looks like an old road, so we're gonna have to follow that down a little bit, I think. I'm not sure if it's coming through on camera, but you guys can tell there was a road here at one point. That goes back that way. Looks like there's a rope hanging back there. Some other things. It's kind of thrown in pretty good with storms. See how far we can get back without having to bushwhack too much. There's some old pieces of metal. I believe they call that Indian pipe. Some of that back here. That way. Over that way, some either railroad ties or some old lumber. And there's quite a bit of it back there. And now I'm on that old, what I thought was an old road. And it may be an old road. We'll go back a little bit and see what we can see. Back here. An odd piece of rope hanging there. You can tell this was definitely a road at some point. It may have either been that wagon road that I mentioned earlier in the video, or part of the switchback easement. So there's some cement back here, or is it just rock? Maybe this is rock. You can see the grade changes right there. It's very flat. And that's like a stone wall. So let's get down there a little closer and see if we can see in that stone wall. This is cool back here. Literally cool. Boy, it got dark. Some old metal back here. Not seeing much in the way of buildings though. So let's head back up toward the farm. This is definitely built up. You can see the rock. And it goes this way too as well. And then straight down. It has gotten incredibly humid. Anyway, this old road's pretty neat. I was hoping maybe there would be some foundations or some old ruins down here. I do know at one point they screened their own coal down here. I don't know if any of the ruins from that actually stand or not. I'm just kind of looking for hints, you know, of an area where a property may have been at one point, whether it be flowers or foundations or changes in the ground, like the grading that we're on currently. Lots of stone around here. It doesn't look like it would be natural, like it's piled there, obviously. But we are very close to one of the fields, so that may be just stone from that field. I do understand that. I was just told there was ran into another hiker down here, just a couple hikers, and told me that there's a spring house or an old spring house somewhere nearby. So here we are in one of those fields. Like I said, the county takes care of these today. Well, I said it was getting dark. I wasn't wrong. We're about to get dumped on, I think. So I'm gonna start heading back. And maybe we'll have to continue this another day because this is a really cool area. And I definitely want to explore a little more. And you know what? A little bit of rain ain't gonna hurt us. So let's continue on. So here we're walking along that road that I was just on a little bit ago. Remember I said it looked like a path. So back there is that old building. Off to the right, you can barely see it through the woods here. And we are heading back toward the barn. Just kind of trying to glance and see if I see anything in the woods or anything that really jumps out. So I walked back the road to get a picture of the sign, and what I thought it said, it doesn't say. But I'll put that in here somewhere just so you guys can see the sign. It's pretty neat, it's an old sign. That farm is really cool. There's some old foundations or remnants of foundations around here too. Some block walls, some old stairs, that kind of thing. I'll get you guys a video or a quick shot of that real quick. So right there you can see some stacked stone. Of course the highway and the traffic noise I apologize for, but you guys can see basically what we're looking at. This road is pretty cool. It's raised up nice and flat now. But anyway, that definitely could be a living history farm. I would say probably pretty easily. A little bit of work and that would be an amazing addition to the Jim Thorpe area. And one more thing that people would definitely come here to see. I know I would. We went from punishing sun to overcast pretty quick. It was starting to rain back there a little bit. I'm going to continue on Orchard Trail. I'm going to finish the trail. I'm going to hook it right here on Board Bottom Trail. See what we can see down here. I think I saw a sign for Camp Apple Tree. I'm not really sure what that is. So this is Camp Apple Tree, whatever that is. We'll have to find out if we can rent it. This is pretty neat back here. See some stuff off in the woods I want to kind of check out. Like maybe an old well or something here. Could be an old stove or a fire pit. Yeah, old fire pit. Sounds like we're in for some nasty weather. I think I hear thunder off in the distance, which would be nice if it rained really good because I am hot. It is a humid, sticky day here. Beautiful on the trail, but wow, is it hot. So the trail we're on now to make this loop is actually Board Bottom Trail. I don't know too much about this one either, but we just switched off. I can hear thunder in the distance. So I'm going to try and get back to the car before that storm hits. Alright, so we're back on a familiar trail. We were just on this trail a few weeks ago. I'll put a link to this video down below. It's the lower section of the Switchback. I did the upper section with Lewis, Simply Explo Venturing. Again, I'll put a link to his video down below. I think I mentioned that a little earlier. And I'll also put a link to part 1, which I did on a solo down through here. Actually, we're going to make our way over to the dam anyway. It's definitely windy. The wind has picked up quite a bit. I don't feel any rain anymore though. And it looks like the dark clouds are just passing over us now. So maybe we missed it. Guess we'll find out. But we're going to take a walk up to the dam. Just give you guys a quick glimpse. And then we'll have to come back on a sunnier day, I guess. So here's the view from the dam I promised. I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm going to start heading back to the car here, working my way back slowly. But just to give you guys an idea, you can see that storm is rolling in here. See the water on the lake, or the rain on the lake. So I'm going to make my way back to the car. I don't know if you guys if that's picking up with the camera or not. Wow. All right, so we're gonna head back to the car now. Almost made it. Oh well. Feels good. So we are almost back into, well, we are back into Mock Chunk Lake Park. So I did the Orchard Trail to Board Bottom to the Switchback Trail. And now we're gonna walk all the way back up into a road and head back down to my car. But I'm gonna end the video here and say thank you guys for coming along on this journey. There's always a car going by every time I try to shoot an outro. There's another one gonna be going by in just a few seconds. So thank you guys for coming along on this journey. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you have any suggestions on where you would like to see me hike next, by the way, that wagon road was built in 1820. So it is over 200 years old. Anyway, if you have any suggestions on where you would like to see me hike next, please let me know. Please check out the other videos down here on the Switchback Trail in Jim Thorpe, the D&L Trail. Come along on some of our camping trips. Happy to have you guys join the journey. And thank you again so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next video. And that rain is back again. Almost made it back to the car. I guess that other one was just a little trickle to let me know it was coming. But just a few feet away from the car, and here it comes. So the timing couldn't be better, I guess, to get back to the car. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, guys. Gotta love it. See you guys in the next one.